Alright, guys. I'm back. It feels like I've been gone for like days, but I haven't been. Now, last night was very interesting. If you guys were not around yesterday, I was gonna go live with this. Yesterday, but what happened was, you see, I was like preparing for the live, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go live definitely. All right, and then I was like, you know, I'm just gonna have a few drinks, right? Gonna have a few evening drinks. Well, a few turned into more than a few, and then I was like, already like, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go live. But you see, I forgot to reschedule the live. But it was already up. It was already scheduled. It was like, yeah, showtime. You missed it, buddy. You missed it. You know what I mean? Whew. But what's been going on with y'all? See if we got any comments. No, we ain't got any comments yet. But the topic of today, right? We got Diddy is the topic of today. Diddy. Now, Diddy was a hip-hop mogul back in the 90s. Obviously, Biggie. If y'all know Biggie, then, Diddy was closely associated with Biggie. And Diddy has thrown these parties over the years where some pretty insane shit has went down. You know what I mean? Now, Diddy, in my opinion, I think Diddy is probably the corniest man alive. I think that Diddy is probably on top, probably top 10 most corniest motherfuckers to ever exist. Ever. And that's how I feel about Diddy, because here's the thing. Suge Knight, he kind of had a point. Suge Knight kind of had a point in a way, where he said, if you don't want an executive being all in the music videos, all in the magazine covers, all in, all around it, come to death row. Because literally, Diddy, everything Biggie did in his career, it's like Diddy was there. And I understand it's because Diddy, to a degree, had a role in Biggie's career. But the fact to where he made himself front and center in every single time was corny. And just, I think he just tried to act in a way that he wasn't built, if that makes sense. But I got two videos today. One is 10 new horrifying things that they found from when they raided his home. Yeah, they raided his home. That happened a couple weeks ago. And apparently they found some things. I'm not sure if it's true, but they found some things, some new incriminating things. But let's get to it, though. For real, let's get to it. We're going to go to the court TV thing, the 10 new horrifying things. Because this man is he's a menace. Like,
humble, grateful, and blessed.
We are breaking down all of the recent allegations.
All right.
What's up, y'all? Coming here live from London.
Oh,
extremely humble, grateful, and blessed.
Corny ass motherfucker.
All of the recent allegations against Sean P.Diddy Combs, as he faces now several lawsuits, including a bombshell one dropped by a former producer.
Look how slimy, though, this motherfucker looks. And people were like, here's the thing. I'm not saying that I was surprised when the whole thing about him came out. And how he allegedly, guys, allegedly was forcing people to do stuff at these parties, and he was having these freak offs, they call them. Fucking, which we know that is the face of a man that loves to be cucked. We know. Look at him.
Accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So if you've been on social media recently or you've been perusing different news sites, you may have seen a lot about P. Diddy and these sexual misconduct allegations. There is a lot there, so we thought let's break it down for you as to what is actually going on. These are going to be the biggest accusations currently against P. Diddy. So P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is of course a well-known music mogul, founder of Bad Boy Records, an influential producer, the founder of a clothing line, a singer, and actor. Now, you might recall that we previously reported on a huge lawsuit filed against Combs by his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura back on November 16, 2023. At the time, Ventura alleged that Combs physically and sexually abused her, including forcing her into sexual slavery and sex trafficking. And some of the more alarming allegations in that federal lawsuit included Combs allegedly raping Ventura in her home after she tried to leave him, savagely beating her, resulting in bruises and birth.
See, but here's the thing, too, about men in particular that are like this, right? A lot of men that are like this would never attempt to do that on another dude. You know what I mean? People like Diddy feel like females are like an easy target to him. And that's what's so predatory about people that are put in his that are like him being put in his position. And this shit has to start when you're like younger. You know what I mean? But even they said like in college he was wilding and doing a whole bunch of shit he wasn't supposed to be doing. Like, what is this? Like, and look at him. Just look at him. Fucking disgusting.
Lips, forcing her to have sex with prostitutes on video while he watched and masturbated, forced her to carry a gun for him, and tried to chase down music producer Suge Knight with a gun. Even she accused him of blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car because he found out that Cudi was interested in Ventura. Yeah, it was wild. We covered it here. And she sued him under New York's Adult Survivors Act. That was a law that gave survivors of sexual assault a
Oh,
1-year window to file lawsuits if
that
their
shit's
claims
cool
were
though.
otherwise
Hold on,
time
no
barred
cap.
under the statute of limitations. Now, Ventura had told CBS at the time, quote, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships." With the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up.
Oh, so that's in New York. This is what I want to ask, right? This stuff is happening in New York, right? Like that lawsuit, Cassandra Ventura. But here's the thing, though. Diddy doesn't live in New York, does he? Or does he have like a home in New York? I always thought Diddy lived in like Miami, California, Los Angeles, something like that, bro. Like, hold on.
Bruises and burst lips, forcing her to have sex with prostitutes on video while he watched and masturbated, forced her to carry a gun for him, and tried to chase down music producer Suge Knight with a gun. Even she accused him of blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car because he found out that Cudi was interested in Ventura. Yeah, it was wild. We covered it here. And she sued him under New York's Adult Survivors Act. That was a law that gave survivors of sexual assault a 1-year window to file lawsuits if their claims were otherwise time barred under the statute of limitations. Now, Ventura had told CBS at the time, quote, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally..."
See, and that's the thing, and this is what I want to know. How do good-looking women like her end up with men like Diddy? I know, like, money, but, like, I don't know.
ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships. With the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. Now, just one day after filing this lawsuit in New York federal court, Combs and Ventura agreed to a settlement. Now, as with
What was the
most
settlement?
settlements, it was confidential. We do not know the terms. Ventura released the
Of
statement.
course. Here's the thing. It's probably like along the lines of, because this is how Diddy operates. Look at this smug motherfucker right here. It's probably along the lines of, hey, if I give you this much amount of money, don't come out with any more information, please.
Saying, quote, I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family.
Weird ass motherfucker. I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. So literally, that's a weird statement to make when you're getting sued for SA stuff. Like, that is very very damning statement right there. I have desired, on, especially when he says I have some level of control. Like, how can I explain it to y'all? He, like, it's almost like, oh yeah, I want complete control of this situation, but I don't, because she is coming out with information. So it's almost like he's like, I gotta give her some money, and that's one thing I can control because I have a shit ton of money. So I could just give her some money and maybe she'll be quiet about all this. But here's the thing, the shit already came out, bruh. Shit already came out, cat's out of the bag. You're out of the closet too, buddy.
Fans and lawyers for their unwavering support. Combs released his own statement saying, quote, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. Now, Ben Brafman, who is attorney for Sean Combs, released a statement.
I don't know why
saying,
I didn't put that together.
A decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best. But you have to imagine, in a way,
yeah, and it's always the people too. I don't mean to get on this, but it's always the people. Here's the thing, it's always the people that damage you, like that damage somebody so like emotional. And sorry, I'm getting fired up because this is actually pissing me off, because like I've went through, not that, but it's like what he just said, right? Hold on, let's go back to what he just said.
To settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He's happy they got to a mutual.
Okay, he is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best, right? But it's always the people that damage you emotionally. It's always the people that do the most damage that are like, yeah, I wish you the best. Like, after what you did, like, how are you expecting her to go on with life as normal? That life is no longer normal. Life is no longer normal once you do that to somebody. Life is no longer normal when you take advantage of people. Fucking scumbag.
Mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best. But you have to imagine, in a way, although this came out and these allegations came out, this was a win for Combs in a way.
Also, too, please hit the subscribe button. I know this is off topic, but please hit the subscribe and like button, because this is fiery right now. I'm firing off right now.
Right? Sure, really bad publicity, terrible allegations, but when you settle, it doesn't stay in the news, you don't go to trial, these details aren't revealed.
Yeah, I know. It's that's the thing about it. It's so slimy though to do it that way, and I know it's because he has stuff to hide and he doesn't want that coming out in public light, and obviously it's his reputation and his image. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Gotta adjust my mic. Getting too excited over here. But the fact that, like, this is all alleged, too. But he resolved it just the way he went about it. You know what I mean? And I know it doesn't stay in the news. He didn't want a trial. He didn't want the big dogs coming out to eat his ass. Pause. Is what it really is.
Revealed at a trial or even in pretrial discovery. This isn't like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard,
No.
where arguably one of the motivations for Johnny Depp to sue his ex-wife to take it to trial was to make sure all the evidence did come out because he wanted to prove that he did not abuse her and he wanted.
Yeah, for real. That is one thing. Hold on. That's what I was just about. That's what I was saying. You know, even though he's a businessman and he is like been so since the 90s and he's like a rap mogul, right? You got Johnny Depp taking his stuff to trial because he wanted everything to come out, right? You know, to prove his innocence, right? Why can't Diddy? That's what I'm saying. Diddy has the resources to do the exact same thing to prove I didn't do this. But here's the problem. Here's where the problem would come in if Diddy did do that, right? He would take it to trial for this time, right? But what would happen if he did it again and 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 there was trial after trial after trial after trial? So eventually people would be like, okay, there's something going on with him. Just saying.
Wanted to rehabilitate his image. This
I know I'm only 21 years old, but I know I'm saying.
after Heard had alluded that she was a victim of domestic violence at his hands. This with Combs is very different. Definitely want to keep it quiet. But then what happens?
Yeah, he wants to keep it quiet because, you know, allegedly he did all that stuff. But in my honest opinion, I think he did it. I don't think we have a reason to believe. Like, I don't have a reason, and I don't know if anybody watching this has a reason to. I don't know if anyone has a reason to not believe it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. But just looking at him, you know, and maybe it's because I didn't like him to begin with. And this is just a reason, you know, for me to be like, oh, yeah, fuck that guy. But it's not because, like, of any kind. But I also do think that stuff should have came out, you know, this stuff should have came out a long time ago.
Days after settling, Combs is hit with another lawsuit filed in New York. A woman.
See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. If he would have took that to trial, right? And then another woman come forth, then take that to trial. It's a revolving door of there's something going on with this man. Right? And that's all it takes. Okay? Like, that's all it really takes.
Woman named Joy Dickerson Neal claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was in college back in 1991. She alleged Combs filmed the rape, shared the video with others as a form of revenge porn.
Okay, see, there was something similar, and this is crimes like this strike a chord with me, really, because it's like, as a man, I don't settle for that. I don't go for that. I was taught to always respect females, to always, you know, be respectful to them when they're respectful to you. You know what I mean? To treat them like normal people. And then you have this man, this scumbag, treating them like objects and ruining their life forever. No words. And I think I don't mean to get like this on y'all. But I've had friends, personal friends, where this stuff has happened to them. So I'm just picturing it as like, that's a female in my family, or, that's a female that I'm friends with. And it has happened to some of my female friends a lot. Because, not of Diddy, but because of scumbags like him that think this is okay.
Dickerson Neal claimed this severely affected her mental health and resulted in her leaving college. And like with Ventura, this lawsuit was filed pursuant to New York's Adult Survivors Act. But actually, this was filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court just one day before the window to sue closed. Diddy denied the allegations. In a statement from his spokesperson released to People, it said, quote, "This last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head. Miss Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible.
32-year-old story. Like, she's been literally sitting in a room, like, alone for all these years, fucking writing about a story of how she's gonna get money from, like, you know how, like, I know that happens, but in this case, how stupid that sounds? I just don't stand for this shit. Like, for real, like, if and I think anybody who does this in Hollywood or even in a common workplace should be exposed to the max.
Mr. Combs never
And
assaulted
honestly, like, guys, like, look at the thumbnail. That's what he's gonna be like, and that's where he's going too. Believe me.
her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grab and nothing more. As far as we see, that lawsuit is still pending. But there is something to think about. Could these allegations be true? Yes, absolutely. Could the allegations against Ventura be true? Yes, absolutely. However, one of the reasons that we see celebrities and high profile people decide to fight these cases and not settle is because they are concerned about the floodgates argument, right? If you settle with one person, you're going to have to settle with all of them. Now, we haven't seen a settlement in this.
But here's the thing, okay? It's either settle with them or take it to trial like a man and prove, instead of hiding with your fucking too tight ass bow tie, right? And your suit coat. I guarantee you that bow tie is probably tied so tight right now around his neck. All the oxygen that's supposed to be going up here is just not even reaching up there. Fucking smug asshole, bro. Like,
Case, but remember, this lawsuit came out after the Ventura settlement. Doesn't take away from the legitimacy of the claims, but just something to think about. But then what happens next, right? A third lawsuit comes out in New York. This time, an unidentified woman claims that Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall raped her 30 years ago. Combs' spokesperson released another statement after this one, saying these are fabricated claims, falsely alleging misconduct from over 30 years ago, and
so in a way, Diddy's been doing this shit. He's been doing this shit. And that's what's the thing. He's been doing this, and he's been allowed to get away with it because of the status he has. And I'm going to go on there here and say this. People like him do not need that status. People like him are the prime example of people that should be locked away. Like, I'm just saying right now, he should be locked away for all of these crimes. Allegedly, him do it. Allegedly that he did.
Filed at the last minute. This is nothing but a money grab. Because of Mr. Combs's fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. It goes on
No,
to
it's
state,
all about the
New York
money, huh? It's
legislature
all about the
surely
money
did
because
not
that's all
intend or
you're
expect the
about.
Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. But then you fast forward to December 2023.
He literally
Another
makes me
lawsuit
angry. Like, literally the way he operates, the way he looks, the way he does things, the way he goes about it just angers me to the highest degree. And I'm just thinking, right? Like I said, I've had female friends where this has happened to them. Okay. Do you guys know what would happen if I seen? Because I know who did it with these people, with my friends. What do you think? What do you guys think I would do if I saw that person that did that to one of my friends, right? So I could just imagine how these females feel and how their friends feel because they've met Diddy, and they were around him. I bet they want to beat the fuck out of him for ruining lives. I just gotta hold on, guys. I gotta take a hit off my vape for a minute. If you guys would like, hold on though. If you guys, this is actually a really good show, right? Here's the thing, it's a really good show. But if you guys would like to donate, my Cash App is down there. What's happening? BM. That's the cash tag. And this is what I mean though. There needs to be more people and not even people necessarily. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna be plugging something in. Not necessarily like people that got assaulted, or essayed by Diddy, but people like me, people that just don't stand for this shit, need to do more lives, do more videos. Which I know I know it's probably been covered to death. My family has watched a lot of the Diddy situation and the Diddy stuff, but I've kind of stayed away from it.
Comes out. Another unidentified woman has accused Combs, former Bad Boy Entertainment president Harvey Pierre, and another person of sex trafficking and gang raping her when she was just 17 years old. She said that she was flown from Michigan to New York City, supplied with drugs and alcohol, and then assaulted at Combs's recording studio. The same day of this lawsuit, Combs issued a statement on Instagram saying, quote, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against
Of
me by
course, he's going to
individuals
make
looking for a quick
excuses.
payday. Let me
But
be
people like him
absolutely
do.
clear.
Make
I did not do
excuses.
any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." By the way, a little side note about these lawsuits. They may be able to be legally brought, right? But they can still be difficult to prove. When you're talking about the age of these claims, witnesses' memories fade, evidence gets stale. It's
Yeah.
not impossible to prove the case, but it can be difficult. And I say that because remember, you can have a witness and a victim testify or survivor testify. That could be sufficient in order to prove the claim. Maybe you have a few corroborating witnesses. That could be it. This isn't a criminal trial, by the way. The standard of proof in a civil case is much lower. Look at the E. Jean Carroll case against Donald Trump. And from an optics point of view, this arguably has hurt Sean Combs. I mean, he stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt TV.
Exactly. I see him where he fucking sold off most of his Revolt shares. Because here's the thing, too. Billionaires, what a lot of people do not know is billionaires do not have like $1 billion of liquid money on them. What I mean by liquid money is I mean like money, like cash, right? Most of this stuff is, some stuff comes from their assets and what they own, and their net worth. All that stuff calculates their net worth and stuff. But he needed that money to be liquid because of these upcoming claims. And obviously, there may or may not be criminal charges on him based on what they found when they raided his home. It's just a thought.
The media company he had founded, he's now on the defensive, but that is not the end of the story. No. It is just the beginning. Because now producer Rodney Little Rod Jones has filed a massive, reportedly $30 million federal lawsuit against Combs and others, alleging sexual assault, harassment, and an illicit criminal enterprise. This lawsuit by Jones is 75 pages. It lists out 15 separate causes of action, and we're going to go through them. But this lawsuit is against Combs, his son Justin Combs, various associates, and entities like Chalice Recording Studios.
His son. Let's be honest, y'all. You know what would happen if I did that to a female, right? What my parents would do to me? But him and his son are allegedly participating in these acts of depravity. There is something like ill, like that makes my stomach like just drop, and maybe it's because I'm a little bit hungover from yesterday, but it makes my stomach drop and it makes me feel physically ill.
Love Records, Motown Records, Combs Global Enterprises, and
Universal
Music Group.
Enterprise.
So the complaint starts off by explaining that Jones produced 9 songs for Combs on his Love album and actually lived with Sean Combs for a period of time. And how, quote, throughout his...
No offense to this man, but we know what Diddy was doing. We know he was trying to get up in that ass. We knew he was trying to fuck. Because we know Diddy swings to the left, to the left, to the left. We know. We already know. This motherfucker has came out of the closet numerous times. Just look at how Diddy dressed back in the day. I just want to bring that up. Look at how he dressed back in the day, how fucking corny he was, and everybody like dressed the same as him. With them fucking Air Max and fucking Baymax, Big Hero 6 suits and shit. This motherfucker really think he Baymax. Fucking MC Hammer looking at MC Hammer pants ass. shit, he by the end of this shit, he might end up like fucking MCM or fucking broke as hell. Hopefully. I hope.
Time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer on the Love album. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones's cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. Now, Jones says that those videos show drugs like ecstasy and cocaine, the displaying of unregistered firearms, Combs spiking drinks for minors and sex workers, Combs' son Christian drugging and sexually assaulting.
And the fact that he thinks this shit is okay. That's what boggles my mind. That's what always has boggled my mind about sexual predators and people who prey sexually on people. What in their mind tells them that it is right to do that? That's what I really don't get. That's what I will never understand. I'll never understand that. Never understand that. Ever. Never will, never have. I don't know if there is an explanation for stuff like that. And people who operate like that inside of their brain and their mind.
A woman, and even a famous actor sexually harassing and assaulting Jones. Now, Jones alleged numerous events in these papers. For example, Jones, who identifies as a heterosexual Christian man, claims that Combs repeatedly and intentionally groped his private parts without his consent.
See, and didn't he have this thing where he was like wanting to take like all these male rappers out shopping, bro? We know what he was. We know. That's like the process, right? That's like the process of like getting to know a female. Like you take them out somewhere, you get to know them, you talk to them a little bit. Something might happen, something might not happen. You guys might feel a spark, you might not. But he's doing the exact same thing, but he's just taking these male rappers out and being like, talking to them. Be like, yo, what you trying to eat tonight? Yo, you look good in that outfit. You look good. Like, get out.
That this happened in LA, New York, Florida, the Virgin Islands, and that Combs also continually forced Jones to be in his presence while he was naked and showered. So with that, Jones is suing Combs for a claim of sexual assault and harassment. Jones says that this resulted in severe emotional distress and anxiety. And as we go through some of these claims, keep in mind what he alleged that he suffered as a result of Combs' action. This is the injury or harm element that you need for the purposes of damages. What happened to you? What did you suffer? Meaning, what could Jones recover? Let's keep that in mind. But Jones claims that Combs attempted to groom him into
when
homosexuality.
You essay somebody, hold on. Let me go back.
Go through some of these claims. Keep in mind what he alleged that he suffered as a result of Combs' action.
Okay, but here's the thing: when you sexually assault somebody, right? Some or essay somebody, it's like there could be physical damage depending on what they did, but mostly it's like mental and physical. Like, I don't think people really know what. I don't really think people know what it feel. I don't know what that feels like. I don't ever want to know, and I can't imagine. the pain people go through that sort of thing on a daily basis, the mental torment, the emotional stress, anxiety, maybe sometimes even PTSD from that. That's the real damage, is up here and in here.
This is the injury or harm element that you need for the purposes of damages. What happened to you? What did you suffer? Meaning, what could Jones recover? Let's keep that in mind. But Jones claims that Combs attempted to groom him into homosexual sex. And one of the ways that Jones says Combs tried to do that was by using producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, who Jones apparently looked up to. Combs allegedly showed Jones a video of Jordan engaging in a sex act with another man as a way to, quote, ease his anxiety concerning homosexuality. And included in this complaint are alleged screenshots of that purported video. By the way, Jones alleges that Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his various homes and that he has secret recordings of celebrities and associates.
Well, no, like if somebody's really doing some, like if they're doing some foul shit with females, you can only imagine what they're doing with the hidden cameras in their homes, secretly recording people, thinking that it's cool. Look at this motherfucker. Like, he thinks it's cool with these fucking Moonwalker glasses on, bro. Like, what are those? The Space Shade 11s, bro? With this, bro, like, even the attire, the chains, everything, bro. This is what I want to ask. We let people like him, and I'm not even, this is me just speaking out right now. We let him in the music industry. And look at him. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, like, I'm not trying to, like, oh, actually, fuck being mean. Just look at him. Why do we let people like him into the rap world? When people like him do not fit in the rap world.
Compromising footage of every person that has attended his parties, which, by the way, from a legal point of view, would be a violation of civil privacy laws and
really
criminal
me
privacy
angry,
laws, perhaps even implicate revenge
This
porn
is why
type
I don't.
statutes.
This is why I stay away from cases like that. Okay, this is why I stay away from cases like that, because I have so much like stuff that has happened to friends and so much stuff that has happened to me where it's like, yeah, I just can't stand for that. I don't swing that way. In both ways. I don't swing on women either. I don't know what let me get my thoughts real quick, y'all. Let me get my thoughts real quick. I don't know. Even when he was setting up all them cameras in his crib. Like, what was going through his head? Like, yeah, I'm really gonna get some on this. Like, and I think it's also too a thing that's used for blackmail. Like, oh yeah, you can't talk about what you seen at this party because we got you on camera in the back room with Jamal over there. Like,
anyway, continuing on with this alleged grooming campaign,
yeah.
Combs even allegedly admitted that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with, quote, an unidentified Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj.
So that's where the Meek Mill shit came from. Did y'all hear about that? Apparently Meek Mill got it too. Apparently, Meek Mill got the diddler dick.
As well as, quote, an R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl. Now, there are those who have speculated online that Philly rapper is Meek Mill, and the
Yes,
R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl could be Usher.
Usher.
On Twitter, X,
We know he was
Meek
piping
Mill
out all
posted
of
on his
them.
account, quote, "One love to the gay people," but then talked
Yeah,
about
and that's the thing. Love to gay people. Like there is no hate. There is no shade, right? But here's where it comes in, right? When Diddy was forcing this on people, that's where the problem comes in. Is from when he was forcing it on people and forcing people to do stuff they didn't want to do with him in a way that they didn't want to do it. And, making them think that they swing a certain way when they don't. That's where the problem comes in. But no, like, love to the gay people out there, honestly. Like, this shit is a shame. And here's the thing, and I know it's looked down in rap music, right? But that's where where Diddy deep down is ashamed of who he is because he's hiding it. You know what I mean? Like, he's ashamed of deep down of that factor about himself.
graphic detail how he much prefers or loves a certain part of the female anatomy. He wrote, quote, "Every black blog site enhanced that post to make me seem gay. I change laws for our people. I donate millions. They are designed to destroy the image of black leaders. It can't work with me, though. You got to really kill me, and I still will get bigger after death. This God, not me."
Every black blog site, Now I'm next, y'all. In case y'all haven't noticed. But every black blog site enhanced that post to all the right. So when he says every, that means all of the sites that were owned by black people basically made you seem like that when basically you were talking about that, and basically they were just saying how it is, really. Probably. Or probably just saying like, yeah, this is really what you're on, bro. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. If he swings that way, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem comes in is when you're forcing people to do stuff that they don't want to do. So to advance yourself, that's what's the problem. Taking advantage of other people, that's the problem.
Wow. Now, one of the people to jump into the mix online was actually social media influencer and former kickboxer Andrew Tate. As you know, we covered Tate's legal troubles in Romania before here on Sidebar, as he's facing charges of rape, sex trafficking, and sexual exploitation. But Tate posted the question on Twitter, quote, "So P. Diddy was having sex with Meek Mill and Usher?" Meek Mill responded, "Was you sex trafficking women? TF wrong with you, Brody." Tate responded, "I only asked a question because everyone is saying it happened. It's true or not." As for Usher, as far as we could see, he didn't respond to any of the assertions in this lawsuit. And you could argue, why should he, as he's not directly mentioned by name or implicated? But something that has created a bit of buzz online is an interview that Usher did years back on the Howard Stern show, where he talked about living with Sean Combs as a teenager as part of P. Diddy's, it's called Puffy's Flavor Camp. He said, quote, "I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it. It was pretty wild. It was crazy. They called me Baby Boo." He went on to say he wasn't disciplinary. He was letting me be a young man.
Baby Boo. He was letting me be a young man, but at the same time calling him Baby Boo. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And he was probably talking to Usher. He's like, yo, what you trying to eat tonight? And yeah, Usher's probably like, what the fuck, did he? What? What did you say? What you want to eat tonight? You looking real good in that outfit right now. Like that's the type of shit I see though. That's the type of shit I see Diddy sliding in. He slid something else in there too, allegedly. But it was yeah, yeah. He was letting me be a young man. I'm just gonna be honest. Diddy was pounding that young man.
And quote, I will always look at him like a brother.
Well, you're gonna look at him in a fucking jail cell here soon, Usher. That's what you're gonna look at him through fucking bars.
But when he was asked if he would send his children to the camp, he responded, quote, hell no. Quick note, by the way, another high
See,
profile.
here's the thing, and if it's not good enough for you, it's not good enough for your children. Some words. I don't have kids, right? But that's what like I was always kind of taught and always kind of seen with the people around me, that it's that you do that. That if something is not good, if a lifestyle is not good enough for you, then it's not good enough for your kids. Or if you're making decisions that aren't good enough for you, then it's not good enough for your kids either. So Usher basically saying I wouldn't send my kids there, it tells all, because he wouldn't want his kids getting touched on, and he wouldn't want his kids having Diddy come in their room late at night asking what they want for dessert, and then when they tell him what they want for dessert, he pulls out something else. Like,
celebrity jumped into the mix as well with all of this Diddy controversy going on, and that's comedian Cat Williams. You might have heard about this.
yes.
Because in an interview with Vlad TV recently, he said he had attended one of Diddy's parties where he found out it was just men there, and he claimed that Diddy had tried to stop him from leaving, making strange, suggestive comments, even threatening and harassing him at one point. Williams had gone on to say, quote, I am not gay, and I am not going to sleep with you. Okay, but moving forward in the lawsuit, Jones claims that on Thanksgiving Day 2022, Combs offered Jones cocaine.
And that should be okay, though. That's the thing. That should be okay, and that should be like, okay, and Diddy should be like, all right. But the fact is that he was harassing him. He was like telling him, like, you better not leave this party, and like making suggestive comments. Like, I like Cat Williams. Like, I like that mustache. Like, I know you just grew that shit out like 2 weeks ago, but damn, you looking Like, what is that? What are we doing in rap? That's the thing. What people are letting him walk around and being like, where you gonna go? Where are we gonna go tonight for dinner? And he's with a 15-year-old Usher. Like, be like, damn, Usher, you look good under them, and you look good on that in that vest. Like, talking about, I saw the lifestyle. Like, well, first of all, that ain't the lifestyle. That's Diddy's lifestyle. And this is the same shit he was probably doing when he was broke and had no money and it was a nobody. This is probably the same exact shit he was doing in the streets in New York or in the burbs, wherever the fuck he came from.
And then rapper Young Miami, her female cousin or assistant, identified as Jane Doe 1, tried to sexually assault Jones, including in front of Combs. And Jones, in fact, again, attached screenshots from a video of Combs, Jones, Young Miami, and Jane Doe 1 on that day. Now, this makes up the fourth listed cause of action in the lawsuit. He is suing Jane Doe 1 for sexual assault. Jones says that her actions were willful and malicious and frightened him. He's also suing her for both negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress. By the way, he also ends up suing Combs for negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress for a lot of this behavior that he says is extreme and outrageous. But speaking of which, Jones is also suing Combs too for this same alleged assault by Jane Doe 1 under a premises liability theory. Basically, Jones is arguing that Combs is responsible because this alleged assault happened on Combs's property. He saw this happen. that he
Well, of course he saw it happen because he was probably getting his lotion out, getting the napkins, ready to watch. That's probably what was going on.
had a duty as the owner of the property to protect Jones
Of
from
course it
harm. That's
happened on
actually
his
a common
property.
theme we see in personal
So he
injury
could
cases.
watch.
If something happens to your guests on your
Sick
property,
fuck.
your business, your home, you could be legally responsible. Then there is the Cuba Gooding Jr. incident.
Now, here's the thing,
Jones
though,
claimed
and this is also what I think needs to happen, okay? We need to know officially, right? We are going to have to know officially sometime soon, I would say. We're going to have to know who was there just attending these parties just to attend and didn't know any and might have known minimal of what was going on. But obviously, too, not just Diddy, but the people, not just this slimy scumbag, but people um, people that are around him. And rumor is allegedly Jamie Foxx allegedly was filming a lot of these parties and a lot of the incidents that happened. I don't know if that's true or not. We may never know what any of it is true or not. But we at least need to know who was there, who was complicit in it, and who was just there attending the parties.
he believes Combs was grooming Jones to pass him off to his friends. And he claims that one day on Combs's yacht, Combs suggested that the actor, quote, get to know Jones, left them alone, and then Cuba Gooding Jr. allegedly touched, groped, and fondled Mr. Jones. Jones had to allegedly push him away. Again, there are screenshots of not only Combs and Gooding Jr. together allegedly on that yacht, but also Gooding Jr. and Jones, where you can see his arm around the producer and sitting right next to him. Jones appears to be smiling.
So even Ricky. So he ain't yelling Ricky anymore. He yelling Dickie.
One of the causes of action is against Combs, again, for premises liability, because Jones claims Gooding Jr. sexually assaulted and harassed him on Combs's yacht. In the lawsuit, Jones brings up another event. This is a shooting that happened at Chalice Recording Studios in LA, where after a heated fight between Combs, his son Justin, and Justin's friend identified as G, gunshots rang out. G was lying on the ground with blood coming out of his hip leg area. Jones claims that Combs allegedly told his team to tell police that he had nothing to do with this. And then Jones, in the lawsuit, provided screenshots of the bloodstained bathroom where he claims G was shot by either Combs or his son. And he claims he still has the clothing that you could test for DNA. Now, one of the claims or causes of action in this lawsuit is again,
if there's DNA on that shit, he's over with. If there's actual DNA of him and his son on those clothes and everything else, he's over with. It's over with him.
Combs and his son Justin under California's bystander negligent infliction of emotional distress. This is the idea here is that this shooting of G traumatized Jones and that has caused him to suffer PTSD.
If you got shot like
depression.
that, like if you got shot like that, and then you're already getting touched and you're getting groped and all that, and then you just get shot because you don't like it, that would be traumatic for any Well, yeah,
Another cause of action against the various entities like Universal Music Group and Motown Records for this shooting, again, under a premises liability theory that they failed in their duty to provide adequate security at Chalice Studios. This shooting could have been prevented. Talking complicated lawsuits, let me just take a minute to thank a team that really knows about the law. Attorney Tom and Associates. They're a great sponsor of this episode of Sidebar. Look, if you and by the way, you won't pay a dime until you at his home, and his son and an unidentified R&B artist were there. Now, again, embedded in this lawsuit, in this complaint, are screenshots of a video taken of this party where it allegedly shows Combs either kissing or dancing almost face to face with a purported underage girl. And the thing about the screenshots from these videos, too, let me just talk about it. Jones usually claims in the suit that the writer is in possession of the video and this could be provided to court. We don't know exactly at this point what the videos do or do not show, or the context, or
Exactly.
what they can prove.
That's the thing. Like, all these videos and pictures are coming out, but like, how is it going to be used? What's in it? Like, what does it prove? That's a very good point by this man right here. Very good point by this man.
But the screenshots in and of themselves are important to establish what we call in the law a prima facie case, meaning at first sight or first impression, the evidence is sufficient to support the claims. Now, moving forward, Jones argues that he was working for Sean Combs under an implied
So,
work
like,
for
the
hire.
main thing is, like, in court, they'd have to, like, take that picture. Like, let's say that picture, for example. And I'm just talking on my neck. So, like, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But, so, like, take this picture, for example. So, all they have to do is show that picture in court as evidence and come up with an argument to prove how it proves he is guilty. That's it. Okay.
Agreement. Work for hire is when you're paid to create something for somebody else. You
Yes.
don't own the rights to what you create. In this case, Combs would own the rights to the songs that were produced by Jones. But Jones says he wasn't paid for the songs he produced, even though he says Combs and the defendants benefited from his work product. He says he was only offered $29,000 for all of his work over the course of 13 months. And talking about his job duties during this time that Jones was working with Combs, he states that he was, quote, forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. On or about February 2nd, 2023, Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs drugged him. Mr. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, confused. He was in bed with two sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. Quote,
They had this man walking around the house with no clothes on, not even knowing where he is because he's so high. What, like,
as part of Mr. Jones' sex worker recruitment tools, Mr. Combs provided Mr. Jones with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to Booby Trap on the River, that's a strip club, as a signal to any sex worker he approached that Mr. Combs was in town and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit.
that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. With a bad boy for, yeah, you know, bad boy for life. Fucking diddlers for life. Going nowhere. We are going to prison. We can't be stopped now. Yeah, it's diddlers for life. We ain't going nowhere. We are going to prison. Yeah, that's what he means.
them. And you might be saying, well, what happens if Jones refused to do any of this? Well, Jones
Cause
claims
it's
that
diddlers for
Combs
life.
would use his power and influence to threaten and intimidate Jones. Quote, Mr. Combs would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones the world to threatening Mr. Jones with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr.
He's a whole ass, like, that's the thing. He's like a whole, like, you gotta think about P. Diddy. He's like a whole ass female sometimes, bro. Like, this should be fucking, like, Mr. Combs would often switch up his, like, when I say female, I mean not all females, but like, Mr. Jones, yeah, he would promise him the world. Be like, I got these chains on me, bro. I got these chains on me. You want these chains? I got that Ciroc. I got this. I got that. I got money. You want some dick too? Like, I got that. Like, hold
Mr.
on.
Jones's face and informed Mr. Jones that he is willing to kill his mother.
See, this is what I don't this is why I don't like P. Diddy. Why is he acting like that? Wasn't he from the suburbs? And then as soon as he signed Biggie, wasn't he the same dude that tried to act like he was a drug dealer from Brooklyn and have that aesthetic? Like, wasn't he the same person? And thinking that he's Don Corleone, bro. Like, you really think you're Don Corleone? Oh, I'm willing to do this and hurt your fit. Like, bro, you were never built like that, and you would never do that. It would be somebody else. He would have to hire somebody else to do it because he wouldn't even do that himself. He is not built like that. And that is exactly why I don't like him. Exactly why. This whole thing is why I don't like him. Because why act like someone you're not? Why act like a tough guy when you're not? Like, why act like you're all that when you're not? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Janice
like,
Combs, if he must, in order to get what he wants, so he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. Claims that he was also told Combs' head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people disappear. And keeping up with that theme of instilling fear,
oh
Jones
my god,
said
he
that
really
Combs
thinks
would
he's
show
Don Corleone, bro. This dude really thinks he's Don Vito Corleone. Like, I will make you an offer you can't refuse. Like, but then you look like that and you're built like that and you come from the suburbs and you ain't really built like that. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, that seems about what I'm hearing.
off his guns, that he would brag about shooting people, that he confessed that he was responsible for that infamous 1999 shooting outside of a New York City nightclub. According to Jones, Combs had told him that,
Well, yeah, bro. I got shooters under my belt, bro. They do whatever I want, bro. They do this, they do that, bro. You know how stupid you sound, and you know how not seriously that anybody would take you nowadays, and people would just run up to you and just do stuff to you like it ain't nothing.
J-Lo,
Like, you're
who Combs had
protected,
been dating at
bro.
the time,
You're
she was the one who carried the
protected.
gun into the club for him and passed the gun to him when he got into that altercation outside the club when shots were fired and 3 people were injured. Jones claims that Combs admitted he forced his artist at the time, Shine, to be the fall guy, to take the blame for the shooting. He was sentenced for 10 years in.
Was that the same Shine? I know this is off topic, but was that the same Shine that said like 50 Cent? That 50 Cent said something like, and Shine running off his mouth from the cell. He don't want it with me. He in PC. I could have a run up on him with a shank. Just a few pennies out my piggy bank. Is that the same Shine he talking about?
prison, by the way. Now, Jones claims that with all of this, he was terrified. He was terrified. And we're going to get into why that is important in just a bit. But Jones makes a comparison in this lawsuit to, of all people, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, he claims that defendant
Well,
Christina Quorum, Combs' chief of staff, is like Ghislaine Maxwell, the former associate or madam of Epstein, who was convicted of her own sex trafficking-related charges, serving a 20-year prison sentence. For instance, when Jones went to Quorum to report Combs, she allegedly said, quote, you know, Sean will be Sean. And Jones said that Quorum made sure her assistants kept Combs high. She made sure that all the employees would readily carry around drugs for Combs whenever he wanted them. And that included forcing Jones to carry a drug pouch. She also made sure to procure sex workers for Combs. Basically says that she was instrumental in this RICO or criminal enterprise of illicit drugs, guns, sex acts.
See, he thinks he's cool. He thinks he's slick running a fucking whole ass RICO operation until them charges come down. That's the whole thing with all those. Like, until the charges come down, they think they're on top of the world. They think that, since they got the money and the power, they're like Don Vito Corleone. They can do all this shit. They got shooters under them. Like Drake said, I got shooter like Aubrey. Like Aubrey. He ain't Drake to me. He's Aubrey. said, I got shooters under me that'll do this, that'll do that. Like, you know how corny you look? You know how corny you look looking the way that you look, saying the things that you are saying? And if that makes sense, like,
acts, including facilitating freak offs, which we had heard of in the Cassie Ventura lawsuit. These are sexual episodes directed by Combs. But now let's talk about, real quickly, some of the more remaining causes of action or claims in this lawsuit. I mentioned there were 15. We've already gone over a bunch of them. But Jones alleges that Combs, his son, various associates, and companies like Motown, Combs Global, Love Records, UMG, they all engaged in illegal racketeering enterprise in violation of the federal RICO statute. And that statute provides someone who is injured a right to sue. Jones argues these companies are liable for the actions of Combs, his son, Coram, because they were all employees or agents of these entities acting on their behalf, that these entities should have been monitoring or warning or supervising what they were
I
allegedly
think I
doing.
got kind of the idea of what's going on with this lawsuit. So I'm just gonna see.
Sometimes far exceed compensatory damages. Look at the Alex Jones case. But he's also seeking medical expenses. He's seeking injunctive relief. That's when you have an order for the court to actually stop somebody from doing something. And I said, look, this is a major lawsuit, but obviously the defendants will have an opportunity to respond. This is usually an answer.
All right, man. I think I pretty much gave my thoughts on this situation and gave my thoughts on Diddy throughout this whole live. Hold on, guys. Let me go to my solo layout. That was spicy. That was a good live, actually. I actually enjoyed that live. I was on a roll. But what I want to say to end this out is definitely what he did was not okay. I don't feel like people like him that have been in power should be in power. I don't think they should even have the money. I don't think they deserve it because of the way that they treat other people. That comes first. How you are as a person comes first before your status, in my opinion. You could be a rich dude and be cool, but you could also be you could be poor or like not have as much money and be an fucking idiot. So like it all just depends, you know. But I'm going to basically go now. It's about 11:25 a.m. I'm gonna go now, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you guys hit that subscribe button and like button on this if you like it. If you want more content like this, more live streams, and if you also want to fund the live streams to keep them going, oh yes, because if I gotta keep doing this, I want to keep doing this. So hit that Cash App. What's happening, BM? Hit it up. All right, guys. I'm gonna be going. Peace.